Hello.
Hello, hello.
Nice to see you. I actually asked Elaine if she could drive today. Being co-chair, and today I'm a bit multitasking between a number of things. So she took a look at the bullets on ClickUp, and hopefully she will join. We were DMing just now.
I have the desktop app and it's extremely fluid, but on the web browser, it's just not. So. Yes, it is out. I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet on the podcast. So if you guys get a chance, go find it on your podcast platform of choice. Just search Chaos Cast. Chaos with CHAOSS. So 2 S's there.
I don't think I listened to it either, but I was there on the recording, so I know it's good. And thank you, Tex and Johnny, for joining on the podcast.
Can everyone confirm real quick if my video is off? Because my internet here is not good.
Thailand, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I was scarfing something down real quick because I've been busy packing for flight all day. Yes.
We are still waiting for a Quaret body. So. So are no already away?
I thought he was.
Yeah, he said he was going to be away for 3 weeks or something.
3 weeks.
Okay.
I think I'm past the age of my body being court.
Adam is unassigned. Sebastian and Philip have confirmed, or no, it was confirmed, but I guess we can expect that he won't be here. Then Niels, I guess, gave his apologies, but
Niels seems to be taking a async approach to OSC. And I thought you mentioned that he wasn't really aligning with what we do. Has it changed?
Not on my side. That was Christian having that conversation, I believe.
Yeah. So he's sticking around. He's going to contribute.
I can only guess so. I haven't had a chance to meet with him. So.
Just checking. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I do know that that's technically on my list of responsibilities, but until I get the larger committee piece through, then I've been focusing on that. I've been focused on a lot of things, but cool. We've got Sebastian, so we can go ahead pretty much whenever.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mentioned, Elaine, you can jump in. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. I think, Tex, are you gonna be like continuing the ClickUp stream? Because I think we can just work with that then.
Yes, this is yeah. So standard. I mean, I can come down and let you share it if you want, but if you don't
No,
mind,
no.
I can just drive and follow you here. So
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, so I guess we can do check-ins first. Yeah, I took a second look at the like draft questions for the maintainer trial program document that John Kelly put together. So I think I talked about that before, but I gave some additional feedback on that. I think some of these questions we can fold into like the other questions, and I think some of them should be a little bit more general. One thing that I think is especially important is like if we could get like info about like how much time like / commitments people have. That seems like pretty high, priority thing to know about somebody. I also took a look at the candidates. Yeah, I just sent a bunch of messages in the Discord about that. We can review all that stuff async. I'm a little bit behind on that, so sorry everyone. Yeah, anybody else want to talk about checking in?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. So I was basically on the developer advocates work session on Monday. I keep doing the ISC calls and can't point out much more, to be honest, this week. I think that's me. I can popcorn. Sebastian, just checking.
Sure. Hi, everybody. From my side, first attending the extra sessions across throughout the weeks, reviewing the developer advocates applications, and promoting the lecture of the developer advocate documentation across the ecosystem. That's basically my activities. Thanks.
just read that post, Sebastian. That was beautifully written. I'm just really curious why that came out this week, since we haven't made a decision on final decisions on what we're doing for the next round.
Yeah, I did it after following the trend. Following the trend, I saw Philip and several other members of the community doing some kind of promotional stuff. So I felt that I had the responsibility the commitment to make my part, right? But in my posts, I just invited to the lecture of the documentation without mentioning dates or deadlines or something like that. Just a lecture. And people can, from that point, start to make decisions about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was really caught off guard this week when there were multiple posts coming out. I thought I was pretty clear that was not the intention, but we'll just work with it as best we can. Jorg or Johnny, do you guys want to say anything before we keep going, or?
Well, there's a recording from earlier in the week when we were talking about like the reviews of people candidacies in round 2, and I was looking at that. You can see my scores, and I don't know if the video is available for people to look at rather than go over it again in the little time we have. But yeah, you've heard my commentary, Tex. I don't think you need to hear it one more time.
Since our last meeting, I was at the agenda setting meeting last week, and then we had the review of the candidates meeting, and then there's an agenda item later, the ChaosCon presentation, that I'll talk more about the work that Tex and I did presenting on the paid open source model, and I will also when we get to that agenda item, talk about what I would like us to do in terms of metrics around the paid open source model. So more on that later.
Guys, just to close, I'm making some notes on Miro. If you want to improve them, it's on the left side of the Miro board. If not, just leave them be. It's just something that at least once a month, it would be good that we have these kinds of touch bases. But cheers.
Sorry, about touching base on like the notes that we've
Who's been
accumulated
doing
on
what?
Mira.
Check-in type of thing. No.
Oh, okay.
On the left side of Miro, there's one section called check-ins, self check-ins.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
so I'm just pointing to that for people to, like, at least from time to time, let us know a bit
Yeah.
what projects you've been working on, so that we can
Okay.
keep a record asynchronously of something.
Cool.
Cheers.
That definitely seems good to do. Yeah, we should probably make sure we mention the projects that we're doing there. Okay. In terms of the next stuff on the agenda, we wanted to talk about like the thing Tex mentioned before about like what we're doing for the Dev Advocate program round 2, for the applicants and round 2 promotion. It seems.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you don't necessarily want this to take too much time here on the formal meeting. There's another work session for later today, and hopefully we can still get some people showing. But the basis, if it was not clear between the Discord messaging, and I apologize if it got that way, is basically we're scrapping the first round and doing a second, which also includes an email to go out to everyone that has applied and has also applied past the original deadline to reapply. But what we'll do is we'll confirm that in our slides and in the job description later on, different things such as verifying, basically, we will verify a development history using Bitergia and or GitHub, but a primary or a heavyweight on the Bitergia to track actual Cardano contributions. And so the question is are we okay to scrap and ask those first round of applicants to reapply and work through all of that? So I'll take this as long as there's no dissent that that's the direction that we're headed. I'm just putting this out here clearly for everybody.
No dissent from my side.
Okay. Gotcha, Elaine. Yeah, no trouble. If you have any final thoughts on that, just let me know, or I can try to take a few minutes after this, Elaine, and we can capture anything else that's necessary.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to talk about it after this because I already gave some thoughts on that async, but it'd be good to talk a little bit more for
Okay.
the end of the day. Okay, yeah, I definitely think we should apply, like have everyone from round 1 apply again. In particular, like I think there's a lot of questions about like language and maybe something like more some information about like people's like motivations and stuff and like their communication skills in particular would be good to have because it's like very like heterogeneous right now. I don't know. Just personal thoughts on that. Like some people have like verbal stuff like up, some people don't, you know.
Right. Fair enough. Anything else on Developer Advocate before we get into the next one?
Do we want to talk a little bit more about like what we're going to do for the promotion in particular?
We can, yes.
Yeah. Does anybody have any thoughts on that in particular? Like I think especially it would be good to like get like a list going of like people who we want to like promote it besides just like members like of the OSC ourselves. Like we talked about like Philip and stuff, but I think if we could like get like an actual concrete list and like why, I think that would really help.
Yeah, one of the discussion points in the previous meeting was the list of people who are relatively well known. Things like Rick McCracken, you suggested it, Elaine. and like Dave and Cardano Yoda and just regular sort of educational people. See if we could reach out to them. I could do that for some of them, but they do follow. So we could see if we could pick up some of the sort of well-known people who put out their own little threads of education.
Yeah. Okay. Do we think we could make like a Google Doc for that? How do I do that within the Drive?
Hang
Does
on.
anybody? Do I like? Hold on.
Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Maybe I was sharing my screen.
Yeah, you can go
Oh yeah. Thank you.
share drives, then OSC, and then
Sorry, this might not have gone right place, but that's okay. Oh, it's the wrong one. Okay. So everyone should be able to pull that up now. Just consider this all boilerplate stuff.
accidental hand up.
Y'all can jump in here. You're not gonna make me upset.
Is that the link on the
It is.
chat? Yeah. Okay.
Christian, if you're here, would we be out of scope doing a job description on LinkedIn?
For developer advocates on LinkedIn?
Correct.
Don't think so. I mean, we just got to work with Tim to get access to LinkedIn for Intersect and putting a job posting up that way.
And that is putting it up as a job listing with a link back to the official form.
Yeah, I mean, you could copy the job description we already put together, quote unquote.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we're not doing anything wrong contractually. I haven't had time to discuss that with you.
Just make sure I can get quick clarity on that. I don't think it's out of scope. We just haven't done it before. So
Yeah. If you can, just let me know.
yeah. Well, Jack typically moves aside if I'm just bullheaded. So
Yeah.
no worries. Did y'all get to the milestone stuff yet, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
Snack.
Yeah. Sorry. What would you say that?
It's conversation for later in the chat. I'll talk to it.
Mhm.
It's a change in how we're doing milestone breakouts with the treasury stuff.
Yeah. I think.
So I lost the, what are we doing right now with our meeting?
We're doing the.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're doing the Dev Advocate program. We're just adding some additional information on this before we move on. Personally, I think we can go on whenever on that.
Yeah, is there a reason we need to wait right now? Otherwise, I agree we'll move on.
More than happy to move on. I just don't want this to stay in the same position by the time I get to 3 hours from now. So if you can,
Yeah.
please be sure to put some stuff in.
The next item on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, could we talk about the paid open source model milestone tracker? I'm not really clued in on this. I think it was it Tex who was I was texting Lucas about who's on top of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So sorry. Let me hold on.
I'll break
I'm gonna
this
let
in.
you
So-
go. I just hold on.
Okay.
Okay. I've added in a calendar here. This has the various different tasks related to the programs that we're going to go over. This is part of the following point on this, but I just wanted to show you guys this. This is more effectively what this tracker would be. And we'll use the different colors to show, like I put orange is in progress here, and then I put the green as this is something that I already did, the initial draft. These black, they just have not been assigned or do not have traction on anything planned yet. So we'll get back to that, but let me grab, come back over here, and Christian, go ahead.
Yeah, so the stuff in the Discord you can ignore now, Elaine, regarding that. We were trying to do the milestone to where it broke up, where all the programs are in 2 lump sums with the treasury withdrawal, but we're going to redo it to where the milestones reflect the program itself. Now, on this sheet, what I'm doing right now is breaking our programs into categories. Based on the type of structure that they're in. And essentially all that means is that the milestone breakout follows the same format for those categories, but each program has individualistic milestones. That way, if one program fails on a milestone, it doesn't affect the other ones if they were tied together in our previous model. So that way we can track everything, and we'll work to make sure a lot of the reporting is offloaded from the maintainers to the open source office and work and make sure things are taken care of. So that's where this is. Tomorrow, me and Tex are going to work to draft out what each of these individual milestones will look like, and then present it to y'all back for feedback and comment. Make sure it's realistic timeline-wise, and then we'll submit it, and I will make delivery assurance do the paperwork for us. So our commitment is just to deliver this sheet, and then they put it in the paperwork how they want. So we don't have to worry about how ugly this stuff looks on a Google Doc.
So just to recap on. Oh,
no, you go
ahead.
first.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, just to recap on that, you're currently breaking that up so that if progress stalls or anything on a milestone, that we can still move forward with the other components of the
Yes.
budget?
Because essentially everything that was listed in the Discord previously, if one item wasn't met, the whole payment would be stalled. And you'd have to wait an entire epoch to resubmit. So doing it this way keeps everything moving. And we can individualize the days so that it's a constant thing. And it's not just one massive amount of work every now and then. It's just little pieces of milestones to review. And that way it's easy. And we can actually have the same headspace when we're reviewing similar programs. But we are going to get some upfront costs just so we can operate programs ahead of the first milestones too. as needed. I think you were first.
Yeah,
George.
Jonathan?
No, I'm going to respect the hands, George.
Oh,
Thank you. The oversight that the open source committee does on the paid open source model, for me, it would be helpful to have current status of each of the programs. I'm not sure where to find that right now.
We need to set it up, essentially. All we've done mostly right now is it's in the Miro board. I think we need an easy to translate option based on us doing that. And I think we need to, Lucas's want to is keep the Miro board up to date. And I'm lacking on that just because I'm working on all the documentation artifacts in the meantime to provide so that y'all don't have to work from scratch. I'm trying to keep it simple now rather than my 20-page documents. So.
Wasn't there like a calendar that like Tex was just talking about like the paid open source model and like implementing stuff? Is that relevant to that?
That would be a task tracker. Yeah, implementation, tie into milestones, I think.
Okay.
So Tex is going to keep me accountable starting tomorrow.
So basically, the task list is still appropriate and maybe expanded and separated into different ones if need be. This is the basic task that we know that we need to get started. And again, it's big because it was under a simplified 2 milestones. But when we come back over here, we're going to try to break these out into 4 milestones, each program having its own milestone acceptance form or sheet or whatever. Each program would be on its own so that it's not counter impacted by another program is the basics there. So each program is validated on its own success rate. But yeah, so as we get into here, we have up front, we're asking for this amount up front to say, hey, we're not going to be able to show you anything, but this is what we need to get started. And then milestone 1, which these two would be 30 or 40 days apart at best. That's essentially what we're starting with. So anything that's required for milestone 1 is what we have to have completed, ideally within the next 60 days, and possibly sooner. So that's what Christian and I are going to work out tomorrow is what's actually required here for milestone 1. And then we'll just adapt that calendar and the task list and whatever as we move forward.
Because to this point, you need something that's of sound rationale to justify to the community. Because they'll approve the treasury withdrawal, but when we actually go to smart contract and SOW terms, we need to be able to defend it. And I think this is a logical standpoint that's easy to remember. So
I will still put it out there. I don't want to pigeonhole anybody, but if you see a program and you are all about it, please speak up and speak up ASAP. That way we can know that we have a specific resource. There's going to be a lot of sharing. There's going to be a lot of co-work, but if everyone were to agree that it's a little bit better that we assign essentially certain committee members to certain programs, then we can do that. Even though we go through election cycles, we can offer the same program to the new candidate, or we can reshuffle again, which is probably not a bad idea because it shuffles experience. So if there's something you want to learn a little bit more about or just be a support or a better advocate for, just let us know. Johnny, you've had a hand up for a while. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. It was just, at the risk of sounding redundant, each line of this has its own smart contract with its own milestones. Is how it's going to be structured in the end. So money will go into a smart contract specifically for maintainer retainer, and another smart contract specifically for tooling sustainability. Yes.
One other thing to this too is the milestones will be reviewed by the delivery assurance folks, but they're asking for third-party assurers.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all are okay with it, I've already gotten Salona Bonewald to agree that she can be a third-party assurer just because she's helped set up the Intersect stuff, helped pioneer the Possum, and she's unrelated to Cardano now, but she understands the need. So I wanted to bring her in and then we can have some other people to help rotate. And that's how it'll work. Obviously, y'all are the first approvers to make sure we are meeting the milestones. Then we submit our report to the delivery assurance to ensure the milestone was met. Third-party assurers review it. They sign off, give the delivery assurance green thumb, and then payouts come through.
For the external assurers, could we leverage past open source committee members for that?
You can. We just can't have Intersect committees validate Intersect contracts due to the trust stuff. So that's why we have to have external people. So if your term ends halfway through, you could then potentially become a, I guess, logic there.
Yeah, that is the idea, because the open source committee members have deep insight on what the programs were intended to do, and then keeping them involved as external assurers retains that experience and gives committee members, well, I think it helps us grow the program, keeping them involved.
Sebastian?
Could we mention, like, could someone like put in chat like the LinkedIn for that person that we just mentioned that we want to have as like the third party assurer?
Yes.
Because I don't think the name rings a bell to me. Thank you.
If you want to also look up, she was in my podcast episode this last Friday.
I got it, Christian.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. She just clarity. She was the executive director for IEEE CTO at Hyperledger at Linux Foundation, and did inner source movements at PayPal for 20 years. Very well informed. And IO contracted her to assist in the setup of Intersect for about 6 months. So. Yeah. Sebastian?
Yeah, thanks. The Johnny. All right. The acceleration program will come until December, right? According to this.
We're taking a little bit of flexibility here. So unless the community wants to stake us at the wood pile, then we're going to assume the 6 months to a year, but starting from the actual treasury withdrawal date. So
I think, yeah, because Adam had brought that point up. Like, I think it also goes to the level of support, because most of these are pioneering programs. So maintainer retainer probably only goes 6 months because that's how it was allocated. The tooling sustainability, we could actually work to be a year because it's a bigger sponsorship type thing, project grade rather than individual level. And bug bounty, I say run it the whole year. That way you don't have a gap in coverage for bounty rewards. And then the Google Summer of Code, that theoretically is a couple-month program, but we actually may need to move it into next year just to make sure the planning's in place to run the program. So we're not. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm thinking on the potential participants of the program. We are seeing people from projects from Emurgo coming to present the project and asking for consideration to some kind of support. Right? I saw recently the interview with one of these programs or one of these projects from Emurgo. These projects will fall into this acceleration category or tooling category, or what kind of category?
Each project has to submit for each individual thing that they're wanting. Just because they're on a project spotlight doesn't mean they're included in these programs or we're advocating for them. That's just free marketing press that we're putting on YouTube. So uncorrelated.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah. And I think Fusion Phi or the Emurgo thing we did, they already applied to the OSC and their proposal got shot down. So now they have to go to product and technical steering to see if they can get an endorsement. Yeah.
Excellent.
Johnny and your
Yeah, going back to an earlier point where it was asked if people wanted to put themselves forward for any one of these programs, I'd like to get involved in the incident monitoring and security unless there's any objections for me doing that, based on past history of having tracked applications for things and been in IT and responded to tickets in my past. So it would be interesting to get involved in that program.
I will connect with you. I just had my whole task today has been security council and incident response. So yeah, happy to have you.
Unless there's any objections, of course.
I'm interested in several of them. The code for us, maintainer, retainer, contribution ladder, almost all of them. I also want to keep an eye on the clock. I think we still have a long agenda, and we're down to 24 minutes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're just a different place priority-wise, but if you are willing to take on anything, please go and find the relevant task and put your name inside of it in all capital letters, please.
And please do keep at least our comms channels on a tab available because we need to do a lot of async work. So just update as you get time.
Okay.
All right. All right. I think that's most of the paid open source model milestone stuff done. Yeah. In terms of the assignment of deliverables, I guess we can. Huh?
We just covered that.
Well, oh yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Maintainer retainer was also mentioned earlier, so I don't know if we need to take time on it. We can, or whichever.
I think
You had called it out in the check-in, but I don't know if there was anything else.
nothing comes to mind immediately right now. Yeah, but I guess we should probably get people's names on like all of them, like right after, like we were talking about.
So I'd say skip this one
then-
because this is one of
Yeah.
those deliverables. So,
Yeah, that was just the document that exists right now, the Possum framework. This is to Yerk's comment. Can we approve the doc wholesale and then publish 3 separate documents, i.e. one on the government's framework and then one for each program about how it goes through those categories? Or do I separate it into 3 documents now and then get approval that way? That's all that description was.
The maintainer retainer program draft question thing?
Yes. The framework that exists right now, it's a giant document.
Yeah.
So it needs to be separated regardless. I just wanted to see if I could get the whole doc approved as is and then break it out, or break it out and then get it approved.
Sorry,
Just
with
feature
respect to the breaking out, we're talking about like the currently 12 questions with some like additional?
Oh, I confused it. Never mind. It was a framework document, 30 pages.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
My
to
bad.
go with the budget application, and it was a big breakdown of the whole program. But you're trying to simplify it now to make it more accessible, I guess.
My
Okay.
bad, Johnny.
And then
No,
the-
that's good. Thank you.
And then the questions were derived from the 30-day trial document that was written up. And then Jörg, sorry for pronouncing it George previously, I'll fix that in future. Jörg has commented, and you've commented yesterday, Elaine, as well, so thank you. And I'm happy to pass it over to Jörg if he wants to take ownership of it.
Cool. Could somebody send me another link to that also?
Yeah, one sec.
Thank you. Who was could somebody remind me who Jörg was?
Georg would be me. That's
I said it wrong twice.
German.
Sorry.
You can remember how to say my name in German by thinking of a big mean orc from like Lord of the Rings, and give him a pride flag, you get a gay org. And that's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
okay,
North,
okay,
though.
okay.
I'm not green.
Mm,
Sorry for the mispronunciations all the way along, Georg.
yes.
No worries.
Apologies
Okay,
on
It's
that.
been that
also.
way for me from day one. I never get his name right.
Yeorg, you said?
No, he said gay.
Georg. Yeah, it's Georg.
Georg. Okay.
Yeah, it's in chat.
Okay. Oh, okay. Georg. Okay. Cool. All right. Then I think the next thing up would, well, actually, sorry. Did we? Sorry. Did we decide on like if we wanted to like split that up into the three things already? I'm losing track a little bit.
Split what up now?
The document that we were just talking about the like
Awesome framework.
Yeah.
The doc splits we're going to have to do on the back end. I'll talk with Christian about that in the morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to know,
So
approve the content in it now or approve after the breakout.
I
After.
vote
Okay.
after.
Yes, if
I
there's
agree.
anybody who's additionally
on
motivated,
that.
you can contact us. But the deal is we've got to do a lot of the legwork because you guys are volunteers primarily. So I'm not going to turn you away from doing more work. But if you want to do it, you have to come and tell us.
Okay.
Otherwise, we just have a laundry list of things that we need to do so we can make it easy for y'all to decide upon.
Okay, so that'll happen at some point in the future. Okay.
Mhm.
I guess next up would be the ChaosCon presentation. What is that about? I think who was on that? Was it Arnaud
Nope.
or
It's Garrick and myself.
oh sorry.
All right, here I'm sharing my screen. Do you see this? I'll walk through real quick. We only have about 50 slides, so this shouldn't take more than 3 minutes. So what we did was we talked about the paid open source model, a little bit of the background of Cardano Intersect, what we did already with analyzing the ecosystem, the community, and then where the paid open source model strategy is going forward and what metrics we are anticipating using, which is relevant here because I would like to build that out more. So as we are implementing the paid open source model, we have tracking in place. So after introducing ourselves, we talked about the tool that we're using, how it has been used before. Tex talked about the history of Intersect and Cardano and how IOHK is setting up Intersect to grow the ecosystem. We analyzed by contracting Bitergia, the ecosystem, found where Cardano sits with the top crypto projects, what the collaboration, the involvement of companies right now is inside. IOHK still is 5,000-pound gorilla in the community, but it is diversifying and there are more and more organizations involved in the Cardano ecosystem. We see trends over time. IOHK is slowly scaling back and more active in issues and conversations other than code, which is good because that's relevant for changing their position from being mainly code contributors to being part of the community and letting others step up, which they are, which we see here. We have a whole analysis of the top 10 contributors, how they contributed, and then how over time the goal is to grow that portion of non-IOHK contributors to Cardano. With that, we presented the paid open source model. Open source provides innovation, transparency, and trust, which is good for product implementation and commercial adoption. And then through the blockchain, we have the treasury fees that get collected and then can be reinvested through our paid open source model, which we presented. You know this diagram, so I'll skip through this. And we showed the tactics that are involved specifically in the paid open source model. The primary metrics that you will see time and time again are number of commits, number of issues, number of pull requests, the meta project repository specific views. These are filters in the platform or filters on what to look for, timeline. So we can shift how much of the data we want to look at any time, time zones, affiliations. Those are things that we see time and time again, and they're used differently for each tactic. So for the contribution ladder, where the goal is to cultivate new contributors through mentorship, milestones, community engagement, we look at these to see how someone is advancing through the contribution ladder, how engaged they are over time on different dimensions. We have for the project support services that we keep track of the projects themselves, how active they are, what they're doing. For the Code for Us model, there is a question of who gets the fund and then is the work being done. So we have metrics around that, maintainer, retainer. Also, how do we select who gets the maintainer, retainer, and then are they doing the work that we expect them to do with the funds we provide them? Project incubation, are the projects ready for maturity or are they still being built up? We have metrics around that. And then project lifecycle maturity is, are they incubating, growing, maturing, maintenance, decline, or active? And those, there are several criteria around that as well. Yeah, and then we talked about how the monthly report is generated, and that was the presentation. So I wanted to share this all with you so you're aware of the work that has already been done and what we shared, and then also the metrics. I would love to start working on building these out.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, could you send, did you already send a link to that or?
I can send that link, yeah.
It's on
Cool.
LinkedIn and YouTube.
Oh, nice. Oh, the presentation is already, okay.
Yes, we are gonna record the full talk ahead of time, which actually is 30 plus minutes longer than we had on stage. So there's extreme detail there, as well as link to the presentation.
Nice.
That's really great. Fantastic. I'm probably going to, so I talked about this briefly. I still haven't set up details on this yet, but like there's that like event in Tokyo upcoming. That is like I think like a software product focused thing, where I want to like give some like where I want to also speak on behalf of like the OSC and stuff, and talk about paid open source model, talk some about like governance stuff perhaps. So I'm probably going to skim some notes on that and what I could add to that. That hasn't been set up yet though, so I don't really have more detail about that. Okay, cool. In terms of the events discussion, the open source summit in Amsterdam.
Interestingly, Arnaud has said that it wouldn't be appropriate for him to go recently.
Yeah, I can jump in. So I chatted with Arnaud directly. He initially suggested this on the main ISC internal, the OSC internal, and I followed up saying that I could also join and cover like the video part and try to give him some way of interviewing people and showing a bit Cardano interacting with the broader open source communities. But for this one, even when I looked at the agenda, it's too close. So it's a project for future opportunities.
Sorry, it's too close, as in like time wise, or like
in the calendar. So he's going to be away for 3 weeks, and then he's going to have to catch up and to book flights now for late August. Maybe it's a bit too close for. Oh, that was his final opinion, so it's settled. But yeah,
Okay.
my offer stands in Europe. If there's open source events, I'm happy to do that part.
Okay, so that one's the one in Amsterdam, Open Source Summit. We're probably not doing, but
Yeah.
anything in Europe, like soon, we could get Lucas on.
If
Oh.
we have someone else, I'm not sure if Niels is around as well. One that's more heavy duty open source, and I could support
Okay.
them. I'm not sure if I could do it
Cool.
by myself, but it depends on what
Okay.
the event is.
Okie dokie. Lucas can do presentation. Node can't make it to Amsterdam. This means second person.
Elaine, do
Okay.
you only have time now, or could I meet with you in an hour after the meeting?
After an hour after this meeting. Let me see
Mhm.
what time it is right now. 11, it's about to be 12. I think in an hour after this meeting would be like the time of the other meeting. I don't
The other one's
know if I'd
2
be able to
hours
make
after.
that. Oh, is it? Sorry, I think
Yes, ma'am.
I have my stuff set to Japan time zone, but Saipan is 1 hour off, so I think I'm confusing things.
Okay.
I probably won't be able to make it to that, honestly. Like 1 hour after.
Okay.
That's like about when I'm gonna be getting to bed because I gotta be up by like 4:30 to make it to my flight. So I'm just taking a quick nap.
Okay. Maybe you can just send me a DM. I've got another meeting to jump into directly after this, so I didn't want to lose
Okay.
traction.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. I'll send you a DM to set something up with that. Okay. That was okay. So with respect to the Open Source Summit in South Korea. Oh, nice.
There's also
When-
one in Japan in December too, Elaine, for you.
Could you send me info about that? Because that seems really, really good. I'd definitely like to attend the one in Japan in December, and then the one in like South Korea. That like
Yeah.
that should be
The
viable.
one South Korea is going to be November 4th to the 5th, and there's also an analytics virtual conference happening, I think, at the same time that anyone on the committee could join as well. But everything's in that GitHub link for the Web 2 world primarily. I got to find more Web 3
Fantastic.
conference links.
Okay. Yeah, if you could send me the Japan one also. Is it just the same like organization?
Linux Foundation sponsored Open Source Summit. There's some other ones. Jörg is pretty well aware of a lot of these events.
Okay. Somebody could send me the follow-up on the one in Japan.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of the GitHub page there.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. December. Okay, yeah, I think I see it. Yeah, I'll probably be able to make that. And then the South Korea one also. Cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get Oscar Hong to also help schedule a side event at that summit since he's already in South.
Oscar Hong?
Yeah, I think he runs some SPO if I'm not mistaken. I engaged with him a long time ago. I might be misinformed. But
Okay, so we want to drag.
overdue untapped resource.
He's active in South Korean open source, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. SPO person, SK open source. To drag into.
He might have actually moved to the UAE. Never mind. Okay, I'll find somebody.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's look at the Asia stuff on that and figure out if we can get like something else going for Europe. Okay, and then in terms of what's this bit about like comms call out with Tim Richmond?
He did not join the meeting, so we can skip that.
Okay.
Well, now we just called him out.
I don't. Well, yeah. All right. He's, I would say, welcome to come in anytime. I'd prefer to get it on the agenda if he's going to come in. But I think we're pretty strong on the comms. If we're not, I mean, y'all can rain fire on me, but hopefully I get the necessary comms out for y'all.
Okay. What's
We
he
have our own
involved with?
engine running, but if we need to tap the Intersect wider stuff, that's what he's here for.
Oh, so he's like associated with like Intersect, the organization.
He's the communications manager, so he manages all the org-wide stuff. So if we wanted to do the
Okay.
LinkedIn job posting, we go through him.
Okay.
Open source was so foolish, I guess is a word, that Jack just let us run our own social media campaigns. So that's why we have a
Okay.
separate.
Cool. And then, all right, so we'll talk about that at some point in the future. And then with other stuff, the explore more actionables within projects. Yeah, I don't have anything. I did not get around to preparing anything for this. Does anybody have any thoughts on that at the moment? About like how we can structure projects a little bit more?
Say that one more time, Elaine. Sorry.
Yeah. Does anybody have any like ideas on like having more like actionable structure to projects and stuff? Specifically like what tool we would use for that, and like maybe like an idea vaguely of like what structure we want to do with that. I don't think ClickUp's like personally, I don't think ClickUp would be bad per se for that, but I feel like we talked a little bit about like what we want to do for that before.
You mean for OSC projects, right?
Well, I think that was my assumption on
Okay.
what this bit was about.
I'm open to anything. I just need to actually utilize whatever tool we decide. So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm late.
No, that sounds good. I'm also in favor of just like ClickUp or anything. In particular, I think if we could, when we do like ClickUp stuff, if we could like assign that. I don't know if they have, I haven't used ClickUp too much. If they have like a thing where you can like tag someone on that, that'd be good. Okay.
Yeah, just to add, I think I raised that one to maybe try to get more people engaged, people that are seats that haven't been attending, try to find places for people or things they can pick up. I think that was mostly the goal, not necessarily to find more checklists if people aren't engaged. I don't know, to find ways to engage people. I think that was actionables that we can, so that we can better use our resources, our internal resources.
You're, sorry, is the issue then, was the intended issue to be addressed, not like with respect to making sure that people, that like somebody's like on top of a particular thing, or was that just about like getting people
Well, yeah,
like
it's
involved?
more about efficiency as a committee. We have
Okay.
like I think a number of seats, and like a third of them are not that engaged. So it's probably a matter of how we are managing projects, assigning tasks, sharing things. I know we're doing our best, but we can do better.
Yeah. I think one thing that comes to mind is like whenever we have like a particular project, we can just, I don't know, we can just all throw in names that might be like relevant to it. I feel like we're kind of doing that already though, so I don't know what could necessarily formalize or like, I don't know, assist with that. Okay. But yeah, as like in terms of like a personal like opinion, I do think that like having like people tagged on like stuff would definitely be a useful tool for all of that sort of thing. Even if just to like get people to decide how much they want to engage with like a particular like thing.
Enjoy, sir.
Cool. I think we're like out of time. Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about, or should we call the meeting for today? Oh, hello,
Daniel, go
Emmanuel.
ahead.
Oh, hi. So I've been joining for the past 2 days, and I see people were sort of trying to get their names on something they might want to contribute to, and I thought I'd raise my hand and maybe, yeah, just go under someone for a while just to learn the ropes of how you guys carry out stuff and maybe contribute more to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for volunteering on that. Yeah, I think it'd be great to get people working on stuff a little bit more. Could you like drop a message about that in like the OSC chat so we can like follow up on that and like, you know, figure out what we can, what you can like help us with?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. On
Cool.
Discord. I think I'll do that on Discord.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. That'd be fantastic. It'd be great to work with you. Thanks a
Yeah,
ton.
thanks.
Cool. If there's nothing else, then I think we can end the
Just
meeting.
to close
Um,
on these two topics that we were talking about. So
Yeah.
some people there that have seats are not contributing so much, and some people that don't have seats are wanting to contribute. Maybe we could explore some kind of, how we can involve people like Emmanuel in some tasks, and even granting them some kind of, contributor status to the open source committee. And I think this is something that could impact maybe all of the committees, because it's probably a common problem.
So maybe if somebody wants to put something together on this, we could do like a mini job board. The bounty is just the experience, but I'm more than happy to get it up and maintain it on the Git book if somebody just wants to kind of draft a list of tasks, or for each and everybody if you're working on a specific item and you could use some assistance there. Let's do it that way. And then Emmanuel, I'll work to make sure that you're included on some of the work session invites when necessary.
Yeah, thank you very much.
all right, thank you. Yeah, and we can just do that on like a Miro, like I assume. Or no?
You could keep an active checklist there, yeah.
My last
Okay.
little mention, I know you got to scroll up a bit, but I did put some initial thoughts on reward and recognition programs. Maybe this ties into that too. So food for thought.
Reward and recognition. Where did you talk about that?
It's in the Discord on July 7th. I'll try and get the link. Yeah, here it is. I'll drop it in the chat. But trying to figure out how do you boost stuff, because people like little nomenclatures and stuff like that when they participate.
Yeah.
So different ideas from different ecosystems.
Yeah. That seems relevant to that, especially like actually getting like people into that pool.
Well, and Bitergia highlights actual maintainer activity contributors and stuff like that. And I know open source ecosystems do a maintainer month where they do a bunch of shout outs from people working hard. So I think something like that's needed. Not to make a vanity game, but something.
No, I think definitely you gotta, I don't know, give people a little bit more motivation to do that with like credits and stuff. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Just tying it back in, because we've talked about it a little bit in the past. Unfortunately, we didn't get to keep to exactly the same order of operations for this year, but the recognition rewards is on the 2025 roadmap for us. So.
Trying to make progress on that.
Okay. I'm late. I'm sorry. I do need to pop out.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, see you again soon. Make sure to follow up on all the stuff about like assigning like stuff. Yeah, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Elaine. Thank you.